This is a quick video on creating a marketing campaign directed at restaurants. So what I did is I put together a list of restaurants. It was around 500, and I just showed a sample of how you can put them all on a map and then create a sales route. The whole point of marketing is to create a routine where you're reaching the same people 3 to 4 times a year at least, and then some kind of follow-up with direct mail, phone, email. But this just shows you how you can put your leads on a map and create a sales route. To start with the campaign, just start with a simple description of what you're trying to accomplish. I want to hit all the restaurants in the town of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. What's my goal? My goal is to get an estimate. If I can't get an estimate, and my second goal is to collect contact information and try to qualify the interest level. After I do that, then I can decide and put them in a category. Open would mean that I didn't collect any information, I don't know, so that means I can go back next time. Qualified would mean I got contact information and they told me what service they have interest in, or they might be interested at a later point. Unqualified means that this isn't a good fit for you, or there's something about the place that you just didn't like. So you don't want to waste your time going back to them in the next rotation. So you'd put them in unqualified and skip them in the future. Then you can decide, well, what kind of restaurants. And in this case, I went more geography, and I'm going to hit them all in a geographic area. Then I just chose a zip code, chose a size. In this case, I said any size. What kind? I decided I don't want any chains. I just want independent only. Not saying you should or you shouldn't, but this is just an example that you can set this up however you want. If you want to add chains, you can add chains too. Think about who the contact person is. Probably general managers, assistant managers, kitchen managers. What kind of services you're going to offer. Carpet cleaning, upholstery, tile, sanitizing the restrooms. What kind of packages. Restaurants can be all over the place, from a couple times a year all the way up to every other week. But at least create a couple of packages that are your standard packages, and then just ask questions about what they've done in the past and give them some options. Maybe they're open to changing their current package. Value proposition, I really don't do restaurants very often, so I didn't really know, but you can think of what kind of value you can provide to them. It could be a technical angle you have, it could be your service level, and you can also name drop any referrals of other restaurants that you work for. That's always helpful. So it came up to be 495 total restaurants I found in this area. And I decided, well, I have 494 restaurants, so how am I going to reach them? Well, I'm going to go door to door 4 times a year. That's every quarter. I'm going to mail a follow-up postcard 2 times a year, and I'm going to email out some kind of quarterly promotions, newsletters, anything to keep in front of them. So if I hit those 494 businesses 4 times a year, it equals this many visits. Now I want to think about, well, what is this going to cost me? So it's going to take me 2 shifts of 4 hours. I decided I'm going to do it Tuesday and Friday morning. I'm just going to put it right in the schedule. I figure I can do around 20 visits per shift, or 40 contacts a week. This is going to change depending how dense your market is or the area you're targeting. Some areas you might only be able to do 10. so you might have to change some of these numbers. Same with the cost. It depends if you're going to hire a marketer who's just going to drop off information and collect information. 15 to 20 an hour would probably do it in most areas, not all. Now, if you hire a salesperson, then you're talking about commission, so that's probably going to be more expensive. So if I do 800 hours a week times around 50 weeks a year, I'm looking at 400 hours. So it's going to cost me $6,000. The postcards, $345. Email is pretty cheap. So total campaign cost is going to be $6,300. Now, I'm not saying that you should do this or this is what it should cost. I'm just showing how to come up with a cost. Everybody's going to be different, so everyone has to figure this stuff out for themselves. Now, once you know the cost, then you want to think about what's my expectation. If something's going to cost me $6,000, what do I want back? Well, best case scenario is by the end of the year that you can knock out around 63,000. Now, commercial campaigns can take time to develop. So in the beginning, you're not going to be at $5,000 a month in revenue. You might, but it's probably going to take 3 to 6 months, and then all of a sudden you start building up pretty fast. Then you can try to break it down. So for 63 grand a year in revenue, how many programs do I need to sell? What's my average? This is going to change for everybody, but at least if you have a starting point of $1,200 a year per customer, some customers that might be 4 times a year, some customers are going to be $5,000, while others might only be 500. But you should come up with some kind of an average. So that means I need to sell 53 programs. And if I need 53 programs, that means I need at least 70 estimates out of those 494 customers. And I'm going to set this all up on a map. So then I can take those 494. Now this is just an example. But what you want to do for door-to-door is put everything on a map so you can create sales routes and have sales route 1, 2, 3, 4, and that way you can set up a routine to where you're automatically visiting these people and then sending out mailers, emails, etc. to stay in contact with them.